I don't think there was much thought beyond the first summer of us being a band. To be honest, I think it's part of that either naivety or ignorance or both that we were just like, oh, let's be a band and leave. And I think the idea was very modest at the time, and I think that again we're just so fortunate to have seen it all through. Howdy, howdy. We are a band called the Maine from Phoenix, Arizona, out here in Los Angeles, California. Out here on the I Love You But I Chose the Maine tour, playing tonight at the Novo. The internal vibe for us, I think, was oddly reminiscent to what it is now. I think there was a lot of excited energy. I think for that being our first full length album, it was all new. So I think we had that like maybe endearing naivety of like the possibilities are endless. And I think fast forward to now, I think we feel kind of similar in that fashion of like, so much has transpired, so much we've experienced, so much we've, been fortunate to see almost 20 years go by. That I think, yeah, everything was new back then, and since we haven't toured on a headliner in like over 2 years, I think this is kind of new in a way again, which is nice to feel. I think for us, it's always the most exciting thing. Like new music for us is always the thing we're most excited about. So we're always trying to let people into that excitement, let people into that world, and hopefully share it with them. And everything that we can do to kind of promote just how excited we are, that's what we try to do. So at this point, this record, I would say, was the hardest to make, for a lot of different reasons. But I think, for my 2 cents, it was one of the most fulfilling records to have under our belts now.
The idea that we always try to take it to somewhere that we've never been, and that just gets harder, I guess, in general, when you have that many behind you. And I think the goal is always to try to look more forward than in reverse. And that's hard to do because you're thinking about what do we do before that worked, what doesn't, what do we not think works. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just the more you stack up, the harder it is to kind of look and see where you need to be landing on the new stuff. So it's a challenge. It's a good challenge. It's fun. I think that's how you grow as a band. That's how you learn like what you're sort of made of. So
I think inevitably just growing older and still having the opportunity to make music that people care about, that'll affect it, no doubt. But I think, for us, we've talked ad nauseum about how fortunate we are to have seen faces, some of them over 100 times, some of them close to 200 times, and then simultaneously see brand new faces and hear people that are like, I've listened to you for the past 3 years, this is my first time seeing you. So to have those things both happen at once, I think is really, it's definitely empowering on our end. You know, makes us want to go another 20 years.
I decided, like recently, I decided to stop trying to explain what 8123 means, because every time somebody asks me, oh, I have no words, I can't describe it, but then look around, this is what it is. I have no fucking clue how to describe this other than beautiful and other than amazing. So thank you very much for being a part of it, everybody. Thank you.
If it's not on Instagram, it didn't happen. No, I think for all the noise and the clutter, right? Like, and the negativity that surrounds it, I think it's provided us with so many opportunities to not only speak directly to the people that care about our music, but also to connect with people we would have never connected with as far as artists are concerned. And so I think, you know, I don't think people that are familiar with us expect us to do a lot of TikTok dancing, you know? So we're fortunate that we're not looked at as like that one thing. Oh, they do this one thing on Instagram or TikTok. And I think it's just a balance, you know, of sharing, but also trying to hold on to a little bit of the mystery, right? Like, you know, we're changing out songs every night on this tour, and you want it to be fresh and exciting for every city that you go to. So it's all a balance, but it's inevitable, right? Like, you can't escape it. So to be silly and shun it, that would just do us no favors. So I think we just try to lean into it and do it the way that feels natural to us. I mean, yeah. I mean, at this point, it would be a 4-hour show, but I think I think because we're first and foremost, we're fans of music. I think that helps inform part of the set list as far as like, if we were going to pay for a ticket to go see one of our bands that we love, we perceive it as like, you wouldn't want to see only X, Y, or Z. So I think it's all a healthy balance, and it's just a tightrope act the whole time is figuring out. I mean, even within the first 3 days, we've changed the flow. We've changed out some songs, and I think we're lucky to have enough material to like lean on. So it's a work in progress.
There's songs that are like some of our most popular. If you were to look at like the metrics on Spotify or something, and we don't always have them in the set. I think our fans are here to watch our band do what we want to do on that night, you know. So we're very lucky in that sense that it like doesn't feel like there's like we have to do this song, and that just like allows the freedom to do what feels good to us, you know. Like the song that we started out as the ending song on the tour is now we're playing it like third to last, and we're ending with a totally different song, and we're opening the set sometimes with a song that has like traditionally been like a closer for us. So we're just always trying to keep ourselves like entertained up there, and I think that energy, the fans can feel it, you know.
it's crazy how well, it's crazy how like there's now generations of fans, because we're almost at 20 years of this. So like we were just talking about last night, there was like a 7-year-old boy who was singing every lyric to every song. That 10-year-old girl, like, and then their parents, and then whatever, it's friends, family, moms, dads. Like, it's crazy. And especially when you start to recognize faces and remember people, and you're kind of watching them go through life at the same time that you are, and it's just a trip, because you forget sometimes that, like, we have been at this for a really long time. So that's what we see out there. It's wild.
I think we still share a similar vision of, and I don't know what that is other than we want to keep doing it, right? So, everybody has probably individual ideas of what's next or what things should look or sound like, but I think we're all pretty much on the same page that we don't want it to go away. So it's really easy to kind of corral, that sentiment and be like, okay, let's just keep going forward, because it's served us well so far. I mean, it's evolved over time. And I think it just keeps evolving, right? Like now it'll be something that I've done, but I might have dressed it up too much in Pro Tools, right? So I think it's trying to balance, like, if you have a clear idea, put it out there, but maybe if you feel on the fence about it, let's leave it a little less, dolled up. So it's a far cry from where we started, but all that to say, they can kind of pop up in similar ways.
Here you go, it's a sign if you fall.
I had a bunch of ideas that I had been writing not years ago, but years ago now, that I, in my brain, thought we were going to make this album. And then we kind of left those all once this song called "It's Not Over Yet" came to be, and that lands later in the album. But that was kind of the catalyst that kind of created the sound that you'll hear on the record. So yeah, it kind of, to his point, it's like we don't really like to live in those old ideas, because I feel like those were moments in time. And so when we revisit them, they're great B-sides, right? They feel good because you completed them. But I think maybe stubbornly we're always like, okay, forget it. That was too old. Let's do the new. Sonically, especially. And there was just an energy and a feeling around it. And that kind of built the foundation with the acoustics, and that we messed around with the rubber bridge a lot on this, and like momentum and those kind of feelings that I think laid the groundwork for the rest of the record. I think we're just like vacuums, right? Like even just as a human being walking around, being inundated with sights and sounds and whatever, I think it all just gets sucked up into this sort of creative ether that I think we definitely leaned more into, like, what are influences of ours, what are records that we remember kind of devouring us when we were growing up. And I think that was the big thing, is making a record from start to finish and thinking about the records that hit in a different way than anything else that we've ever listened to. So like Yankee Hotel by Wilco, and I mean the list goes on and on. But I think that was like the sole focus on this, was just making a full body of work. So the record comes out the 10th of April. And there were a few ideas that were unfinished from that session that hopefully we can we can find time out here and bring to life. But other than that, I think this is the first time that I'm personally going to try to allow myself to like enjoy, like enjoy the labor that we put into the record and try to really focus on, giving people a unique experience every single night. So. Hello, we are the Maine from Phoenix, Arizona, and you've just been buzzed.